Hello everyone. Got a whole set here. Welcome to the stream. I don't really have a solid plan for this stream. I'm just gonna assign these like fucking million books for all the collector's editions and yeah, answer any questions that people have about the DLC. Yeah, international shipping is really bad. I think it's because it's like the holidays right now, so all shipping is more expensive. I really should have not like sold my thing right at the holidays. Nani cardboard cutout. Yeah, sorry that not all of Nani is on screen. It didn't work with this like floor stream. I guess I could like How's this? Is that good? I just stay here. No, we just get Nani crotch shot. How's your day, Zach? It's okay. Could be worse. I've the past couple of days were a little rough. I got a COVID vaccine, and that gave me like some bad like fake COVID symptoms for like a day. And then like yesterday I fell off my chair and blasted my finger, and it hurt so bad I almost passed out, and I thought it was broken. But I went to the doctor and got it x-rayed, and it turns out it's not broken, it's just I don't know, just smashed, just bruised really bad. USPS in Canada is on strike. Yeah, no service right now. But it's going better. I'm feeling better today. My finger's not hurting too bad. And I get to do this fun stream. Yeah. Anyway, I guess I'll start signing books. Oh, wait, before I do that, I want to show you guys. So I finally have the full collector's edition. The books just arrived, this Sunday? Yeah, just 2 days ago. So here they are. Here's what they look like. I'll give you some close-up shots. Here we go. So here's the book. It's paperback. It's not very long, because it is a short story after all. What the inside looks like. I'm gonna sign right here. This is like super out of focus, isn't it? Let's see if we can fix that. Sorry, my setup's a little weird. I'm like across the room from my camera. Is that good? Also, I can't see chat right now, by the way. Another thing that's in these books that's kind of fun is all my concept sketches for Into the Aether are at the end. So you get a lot of new concept art. And then the short story. I'm not going to show too much because I don't want to like spoil the whole story. And then the box copy of the game. And inside you get this little holographic card. I'm not going to show the back because this has a Steam key on it, but you do get to see the front. Pretty sick. Oh, I almost showed the back. Yeah. So that's that. Collector's edition. Very exciting. No! Knocked over Nani. And Gianni. Okay, we're back. Why is it a Switch case? Because I don't know. It's a Steam game. What else? Wait, can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay. It's a Switch case because I just had to arbitrarily decide what kind of case to do, and I decided on a Switch case. Is there going to be a digital edition of the book? Yeah, the DLC will come with a digital PDF of the book, so you can read it even if you don't get the collector's edition. However, The collector's edition will be getting it early because, you know, you can read... Oh, what do we get? I can't even see from here. Somebody's following. Thank you for following. Yeah, so if you get the collector's edition, you can read the book early. If you don't, you can read the book when the DLC comes out in March. Thanks guys for following. I don't stream very much, just warning you. Oh, and the other thing is, I printed a bunch of stickers. Check this out. We've got some brand new, never before released stickers, including Cowgirl. Try and make this focus. Cowgirl. We've got... Most of these are previously released stickers. We have Gronto being evil. We have Baby Mudrunner. We have Cubehead. And a couple other ones. But anyway, I'm going to be shoving these stickers randomly into the collector's editions. So you may or may not just receive a sticker. I rolled my ankle once in gym class in 8th grade to the point where I couldn't walk normally for a week. At least I could skip school and then watch the Metagaming Showcase 2022. Sorry for the random ass story, but your finger issue just reminded me of that. Yeah. Injuries are bad, it turns out. Will the Vertigo 2 soundtrack be going on Amazon Music with the other music you made? I didn't even know it wasn't on Amazon Music. Probably not, since it's already released. I'm not gonna like change what it's released on. Yeah. Hey man, love the games. Very cool stuff you've got going on with the collector's edition. Thank you very much. So yeah, let's start signing because I have a lot of these books to sign. Will Peak be peaked again with the release of the Peak DLC for the Peak game? Yes. One book down. Like 100 to go. I'm gonna have to bounce, I'm sick. I just wanted to come say hi and show my support. Thank you, Baldric. Just asking because I really love the Vertigo 2 soundtrack and I use Amazon for my playlists. Yeah, I guess I can look into it. Where buy this edition? It's at the link zulubo.com/vertigo2. Well, it's not for sale yet on Steam, and the collector's edition is sold out at the moment, but on the website you can sign up for an email notification for when it's back in stock. Have a happy Christmas, you too, Baldric. As soon as I finish shipping the collector's edition, I'm going to be heading up to spend Christmas with my family. Looking forward to that. Do you plan on putting all the enemy blend models on the Dropbox? Maybe. If there's any specific ones you want, you can request them. The thing about the blend models is it does take some work to prepare them for the Dropbox. So doing all of them would be like a significant amount of work. What the hell is that noise? There's like a truck outside. I don't think it's coming through the microphone, but that's crazy. What's your favorite song from the Vertigo 2's OST? It's a good question. I also like Cyber Joseph a lot. Cyber Joseph is a banger. I think Electric Proletariat, especially the second phase part, I just really like how it turned out. You planning to keep releasing expansions on Vertigo 2 or 3 in the future? No, this is definitely going to be the last one. For real this time. I'm kind of tired of working on Vertigo 2 because I've been doing it for like so long. I mean, it really has been like a full decade I've been working on Vertigo. You include Vertigo 1. And I have some other projects that I would really like to work on. I wrote on my website, or I think I put it on the website. I sort of did this collector's edition, or the DLC by accident. It was initially just going to be this short story, and I was just going to release it digitally. But feature creep kind of took over. I say feature creep. I initially decided, like, I'll do, like, a new boss fight to help sell the short story. And then I was like, maybe there should be a level before the boss fight. And then it became a whole DLC. How's the DLC soundtrack going to get released? I'm thinking it'll be like its own album on streaming services, and I will just add it to the Vertigo 2 soundtrack on Steam. So if you've bought the Vertigo 2 soundtrack, you'll get the new tracks. Is there any new weapons coming in the DLC? The trailer only shows 2 weapons already in the game, so I just want to know, unless it's spoilers or something. Yeah, there will be new weapons. I haven't finished making them yet, though, so I didn't put them in the trailer. Also, the grappling hook technically is a weapon, because it takes up a weapon slot, but I know you mean actual weapons. There's not going to be a ton of new weapons, though. Your main weapon in the DLC is going to be the Annihilator prototype, because that's Brian's like signature weapon. And I'm also going to improve it a little bit, make it like easier to use, potentially more powerful. It's already pretty powerful. I just fucked up that signature. Sorry if that's yours. How many bosses should we expect? I'm thinking like 3 or 4. 2 like proper bosses, and then maybe a couple mini bosses. Whatever happened to the Hypercross and Automata Collective necklaces? Were those limited edition? I can't seem to find them anywhere anymore. Yeah, so unfortunately those, the company that I was using to print those went bankrupt, like just a couple months after I started selling them. So now they're not available anymore. And that was like the only like 3D printing, at least metal 3D printing company that I know of that does like easy selling like that. So possibly, if I find another manufacturer, I could sell them again, but for now, they are gone forever. For now, they're gone forever. Like a little oxymoron. For now, they're gone. Oh, and somebody said a while ago, is the DLC going to add new stuff for the level editor? Yeah, all the new assets for the DLC, so new enemies, like props and everything, will all be available in the level editor. And I'm thinking, it'll be like... I was like debating how to do this, but I think I've decided, you'll only be able to like make levels with the new props if you have the DLC, but anybody will be able to play the custom levels with the DLC items. That seems like a fair way to do it. What kind of future projects are you interested in? So I'm working on I'm like a contractor for a couple of other VR companies working on unannounced projects right now. Just like helping out with those. And I also have I have like a bunch of games in the early prototype, like early alpha phase. I'm not really sure which one I'm going to finish making next. Oh, do you plan to update the featured levels? Because they've been the same for like a year now? Yeah, I always forget to update them. I'll do that. I'll find some new featured levels. Oh, I want a fucked up signature? It's cooler that way? Yeah, well, fortunately my my signature is pretty fucked up, like by default. So. Because I just have bad handwriting. Do you guys want to see my signature? But there's a Joe Jeff on it. Yeah. I think that makes up for the bad handwriting. Since it takes place right after the campaign, is it going to be locked until story completion? I'm thinking yes, but I might have like a button that lets you skip it, or like, I don't know, because I know some people like might want to play the DLC on a new save slot or whatever, or like will not have their save data anymore, or like any number of things. So there's at least going to be like a console command for like skipping to the DLC. Mr. Man says, hello, just want to say thanks for making one of my top 3 VR games of all time. You're very welcome. Yippee, more level editor stuff. Also, do you know how long the DLC will be in length? It's kind of hard to say right now because it is not done yet. And I'm not very good at estimating length, like before things are actually done. Sometimes when you make a level, it takes like way longer to play than you expect, or way shorter to play than you expect. So I'm not making any promises right now, but my estimate is like 2 to 3 hours. What kind of VR games would you like to see more of? I'd like to see more like experimental VR games. I'm kind of nostalgic for like the early days of VR, when everybody was making like weird, fucked up, like experimental projects that like, I don't know, did like really interesting things with VR. And honestly, like, that's kind of not what Vertigo 2 is. Vertigo 2 is a very like normal-ass game in a lot of ways. Like, it's structured just like a classic like PC first-person shooter. The gameplay is pretty much point and shoot. Like, there is VR interactivity, but it doesn't do anything super crazy. How did you create Nani? I just like drew him one day. Drew a little like goblin guy. That's how I create most stuff. I always start with sketches. Oh, there's a bunch of YouTube chats I need to catch up on. Being an eminence in terms of virtual reality on PC, and having worked in the lab with Valve, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't Valve try to hire you for Half-Life 3? No. like, I left Valve, they were not working on, like, Half-Life 3. I left Valve when Half-Life Alyx, I think, was still in development. Or right after Half-Life Alyx came out? I can't remember. And I was, like, not really involved with Half-Life Alyx at all. I was more just, working on the Valve Index itself. Any tips for aspiring solo VR developers? Well, I feel like the tip I give to any game developer, not just VR developer, is always start small. Start with a project that you can actually finish. Because finishing projects is like the hardest thing. So if you give yourself the goal of like finishing a really small game, you're much more likely to be able to do that and then move on to bigger things with the confidence and knowledge you've gotten from that, rather than starting with a really big game and then like failing to finish that because big games are really hard to make and then feeling discouraged. So find something like really small and simple that you still are actually interested in making, and then make it. Like, get it completely done and put it on itch or whatever, and like get it polished and play tested and all that. Do you have any non-Vertigo related projects you have that you're wanting to work on? Yeah, I have a few early prototypes of non-Vertigo related projects. One of them I actually showed. I made like an open source version of it. It was this big like landscape where you fly around in a spaceship. And I was just experimenting with like cloud rendering and grass rendering and terrain rendering and atmosphere rendering, and putting that all together into like a big ass landscape with all of these like dynamic things rendered realistically. I called it Big Land. It is on my GitHub, or an old version of it is on my GitHub. But I kind of got stuck on that because I was struggling to find out what would be like fun gameplay, because just like flying a spaceship around a giant empty open world isn't super fun. Is Nani your secret ghostwriter? Nani doesn't speak English very well. I feel like he would struggle with writing. Will Brian's voice actor be back for Into the Aether? Yeah, if I can get him back. I haven't talked to him in a while, but if he is available, I would love to get him back. The script for Into the Aether is still in progress. That's why I didn't have any dialogue in the trailer. I'm still writing it. Perhaps an oddly specific question, but have you ever had a dream that either involved or inspired a part of the Vertigo games? You know, weirdly, I haven't really dreamed about, like, being in Vertigo, or, like, had a dream about Vertigo. Which is weird because, you know, I spend so much of my waking hours thinking about it, because it's, like, my work. I can't explain it, but my dreams are usually like completely unrelated to Vertigo. However, I've told this story many times, but one of the enemies in Vertigo was actually like inspired by a dream. The snowman enemy, which is the sort of Yeti looking like burrowing creature with like little stick arms and like a spider face, was it like came to me in a nightmare. I had a nightmare and the creature that was trying to kill me was like that. And when I woke up, I was like, holy shit, that was like a weird and kind of cool looking creature. And I found a piece of paper and I drew it. Like immediately while it was still in my memory. Yeah, I hate those things. Yeah, they're really terrifying. So that's a certified like actual nightmare creation. And these books are so heavy. They are, I got 200 of them printed, so I'll have some extras, and it was 100 pounds. They're like half a pound each, I guess. It's a lot of books. Awesome, thanks. Great advices. With my larger ideas, I stall out a lot and put it down for a while. Yeah, it's so easy to like get stuck or burn out. I don't really know how I avoided it with Vertigo 2. I think it was just that I got a really good groove of like... Yeah, I don't know how I got through Vertigo 2. I guess I like took lots of breaks and worked on other stuff in between, like working at Valve and doing Vertigo Remastered, so that helped like refresh my brain a little bit. But all my current projects that I'm like that are being prototyped, I've kind of gotten stuck on them and you know, started another prototype project. Currently making another level while playing this in the background. Very epic, bro honky. So proud of you. Wait, so are the books going to be explaining lore that's from the DLC, or is it just extra lore for the Vertigo series in general? Both. The books are a prequel to Vertigo 2, but they are set in the Aether and have, if you couldn't guess, and have some lore about the Aether and Cowboy. I guess they don't really have Cowboy lore, but Cowboy is in them. Cowboy doesn't have much lore that wasn't explained in the game. It's more lore about the Aether itself. I would love to see a game based on the Supernatural TV show. Okay. I've never seen Supernatural. Actually, one bit of Cowboy lore that confuses me, why was Cowboy drawing graffiti in Remastered? Wouldn't that be detrimental to his whole plan? Yeah, that's a good question. There isn't really a good lore reason for that, but it wouldn't be detrimental to his plan because all the Cowboy graffiti is actually invisible to everyone except for Sonia. Or at least invisible to Enrique. I was thinking in the Cowboy lore in Vertigo Remastered, that tube was kind of where Cowboy, like, hangs out in the quantum reactor when he's there. And so all that graffiti is him just kind of ranting. I used to think Boneworks was the perfect VR game until I played Vertigo and Vertigo 2. That's very nice. Will you be able to use the other characters that are playable in Vertigo 2 in the DLC? That could bring some replayability to DLC and just be fun. I've been thinking about that. Maybe. I was thinking, I'll have like, if you try to play the DLC with anybody other than Brian, I'll have a pop-up that says, like, it's recommended to play as Brian. But there's no reason why you couldn't. It would just sort of, like, unbalance some things, I think. One thing I never understood is if Sonia is a human and everyone thinks she's an alien, or is she an alien not from Earth? She is a human from an alternate Earth. So she's from Earth in an alternate universe, and she goes to this another universe with the quantum reactor, Both universes have humans, but they're technically aliens to each other because they're from different versions of Earth. So the reactor considers her an alien, even though she's very similar to the humans in the reactor. Will I be lost if I play Into the Aether without playing the second game? Yeah, probably. I would recommend playing Vertigo 2 first. You got plenty of time. Play it in between now and March. Oh, hi Florian. Having so many physics references in the Vertigo games, did you enjoy science stuff in school, or school in general, or were you mostly bored and waiting to go home and actually do fun work? Yeah, I've always really loved physics. I kind of struggled in school. I dropped out of college after only one semester because I was really miserable there. But I still like the subject of physics a lot. I'm not like particularly well educated in physics. You know, I've only taken like a high school physics class. But I do have a lot of interest in the field. It'll be creepy for sure, but you have any jump scares in the DLC? I still don't forgive you for the red handyman. I don't think there's any jump scares actually. It's more about the creepy ambience. Any reason the weird creepy beta trolls were removed, other than them having a dong? Well, there was only like one in the whole game. I didn't have like a specific reason for removing them. I just felt like they were kind of weird and out of place. And also is the only dong in the game. It felt weird to have like one dong. Like there's no other new in Vertigo 2, so that would like perhaps fuck up the whole age rating. Oh, I've forgotten to add any stickers to these. Should I start shoving some stickers in these books? A cowgirl in this one. If this hasn't been asked before, will suggestions be reopened for the new DLC? What do you mean suggestions? Like, yeah, I don't know what you mean by suggestions. Sorry, I have a bunch of chats to catch up on. Probably the same thing as playing Half-Life 2 Episode 1 before playing Half-Life 2. Oh yeah, about the order you play the games in. Yeah. It is, the DLC is a direct continuation of Vertigo 2's story. So playing the game first. Yo, are you telling me Brian doesn't have a dong? No, he definitely does. He just doesn't take his pants off in Vertigo 2. Maybe that'll change in the DLC. Yo, I'm a huge fan of Vertigo 2. Also, will you sign books from the second batch too? Yeah. All the books for the collector's edition will be signed. This is really awkward, like reaching behind me to get these books. Yo, I'm actually making good progress. Look at this. I've gotten through quite a few of these. Any tips for composing an OST for my own games? That's a good question. I don't know, I feel like I'm not very well qualified to give like music production tips, because it really is like more of a hobby for me. I would say, I guess the way I do it is I often I wait until I have a very clear picture of the level in mind, where the music will be, or even when I'm done with the level, so that I can actually have, you know, pictures of it, so that I can match the energy and the aesthetic. of the visuals. I'm gonna be checking every corner into the Aether to find that Nani Easter egg statue that you promised to put in the DLC. Wait, what? I don't remember promising that, but I think I did. I sort of remember it. What was the Nani Easter egg statue? I vaguely remember promising this. Like in Discord. Hey Zach, if there's something you wish you could have done differently in the Vertigo series, what would it be? I would say I wish I had had like a good writer to direct the story from early on, because the story really came together like as the games developed. Like the Void Delegation wasn't even like a thing until like I made Vertigo Remastered, just because I felt like there should be a more of an overarching story other than, you know, you're trying to get home. I needed some like interdimensional intrigue. What year was Brian born? Considering how futuristic the game is, could Brian have watched Cocomelon? No. Actually, Vertigo 2 is canonically, or Vertigo and Vertigo 2 are canonically set in like 2015. But Brian was born in like, I don't know, 1950-ish? 1940? Like earlier? Yeah, Brian's like a boomer. Certified boomer. The universe that Brian was born in was just more technologically advanced. Hi, Gianni! You see her featured? Yeah. I love my my big titty Gianni doll very much. I keep him above my desk. Looks at me. His titties look at me. Oh, suggestions for Sandbox and other miscellaneous additions? I think no. Because that opens up just like working on the DLC for a really long time. Adding all the features that everybody wants. Holy crap, it's the real Ghani from voice acting. You told me you would put a Nani statue as an Easter egg in the DLC. Yeah. Was there a level in Vertigo 2 that was the most troublesome to program, or in general just took a long time to develop? Let's see. Autonica was pretty... I wouldn't say it's troublesome, but it was just so big it took a while, but like I knew it would be big going into it. I would say a harder one... The Great Sea was kind of tough because the boat physics were a pain in the ass. But other than the boat physics, it was a pretty simple level. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say there was like a huge standout level in terms of difficulty. Why does it say pinned by Zulubo? I don't remember pinning that. Did I mistakenly pin that? That's so funny. I think I accidentally pinned Brian is Unk for real. That's great. I'll leave that pinned. Oh, there's so many chats here. Who's your favorite Vertigo character / creature? I'm very partial to Nani. I'm also very fond of Jojeff's. See, there's so many creatures. There's so many good ones to choose from. I just want to share my appreciation for what you do. The announcement made my year because I finally have a game to look forward to. If those are batch 1, one of those will be mine. Yeah, one of these will be yours. Perhaps it will have a little Mudrunner sticker in it. many additional copies of the collector's edition do you plan on adding? I missed the first batch because of my digital logic and assembly finals. I haven't decided how many more I'm gonna print. I was thinking like 200 more just to like try to make sure I don't run out again really quickly. If you go on the website, there's a sign up for restock notifications. So you can get an email for when those are back in stock. Will Gentlehand actually come back for Into the Aether? No, Gentlehand is super dead. Gentlehand got exploded in the reactor. Sorry, that's spoilers, but game's been out for like 2 years. Hey, I know it's a stupid question, but will the site be able to ship to Israel? I chose not to ship to Israel because of, like, the genocide that Israel is doing. It's a little bit silly because Steam is going to be selling the game in Israel anyway, so you can just wait until the digital version comes out and buy it. But yeah, not shipping the collector's edition there. I've only just finished the first game so far, and I have no idea why the old guy who died miserably in a wall looks so happy on the cover, lol. He is really happy. Yeah, if you want the lore, it's because that's actually a clone. He was faking his death. That's not really spoilers. It gets revealed like immediately in Vertigo 2 that Brian's still alive. What made you come up with Sonya as a character? Wasn't the original Vertigo a generic dude? The original Vertigo character was supposed to be like a genderless, like customizable character. But most people thought it was supposed to be a dude. I tried to make it like as androgynous as possible, but anyway, Sonya got designed by a friend of mine. So, I don't know, ask them. How did you make Officer 13 so hot? I need your secrets. The secret is right there in Twitch chat. Gianni. Did you get Brett to voice act a villager just because he's the Arthur Ford? He actually reached out to me. He asked if he could be in Vertigo 2 because he was like a fan. And I said, hell yeah. And the villagers were just one of the only roles that I had not cast yet, so he got to be the villagers. Gianni says, can't believe he's talented, funny, and cute too. Some guys have it all. Hey look, I can't sit here and hit on you all night, but have fun with the stream. Vertigo rules. So true. And you're totally not just saying that because you're in it, right, Gianni? But I live in Palestine and I can't buy it? Oh, shit, that sucks. Sorry, this is my first time, like, selling a physical product. So I don't really know what I'm doing. Hopefully if I ever do it again, it'll go a little bit more smoothly. I'll order it to the USA and my cousin will get it to here. Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. What is the cover for the Stay Out of the Aether? I don't know, isn't that like a spoiler? Better read the book and find out, buddy. Brian really went from fucking dying to having the time of his life. I don't know. You don't know if he's gonna have fun or not in this DLC. Probably gonna have some fun. If you do it again, please somehow make shipping costs less. Yeah, definitely. That will be a goal if I do this again. I think what happened is that it is like right before Christmas, so shipping costs are like at their yearly high. It still is like, it's really bad for international shipping. For domestic shipping, for shipping in the US, it's shipping is like $5, which is fine. But for like any international shipping, it's like $30 at minimum. And then like some places are like $60 to $100. It's crazy. Not ideal. Oh my god, sorry, I missed a bunch of YouTube chats. Will there be more squishable objects I can crush with the index controllers in the DLC? That's a good question. There's not many squishy objects in the DLC. It's mostly like metal and rock. But I'll see if I can add some nice squishy objects. When did you first get into game development and programming? I got into game development when I was 13. Right after I tried the Oculus Rift DK1 for the first time. I guess you could say I started before that because I used this this like children's programming language called Scratch. From a very young age. I don't even remember when I started using Scratch. Were you surprised at how fast the physical sold, or were you expecting it? I was a little bit surprised. I was not expecting it to sell out in, like, one day. Which it did, like 1 or 2 days. But I really didn't know what to expect, again, because I've never sold a physical, product before. Which is why I went with the pretty low count of just 100 to start. That way I can just do the second, batch. What if someone who likes Vertigo 2 in Israel wants to order a physical copy? Should they not be able to play? They cannot order the physical copy shipped to Israel, but they can buy the digital copy in on Steam. Just because I don't think I can restrict where that is sold. I live in Portugal and doubled with shipping, and then was more than $100 with customs and VAT. Yeah. That's awful. That's the disadvantage of like not like having a publisher and like shipping, doing all this myself, is that you don't get the decreased shipping costs because I'm shipping it like from my house to Portugal. Have you ever considered making a playable JoJef with gorilla tag movement as a level or short minigame? Why? Why would there be a playable JoJef? I mean, it's not a bad idea. I'm just like, where did that idea come from? You just really want to be a JoJef? Wait, so is the explosion ending the canon one? Yeah. It's the more canon one. The DLC continues from that ending. So that's more of the true ending. Any hope for a Vertigo 3 in the coming years? I don't think so. Especially after this DLC, it pretty much finishes the story. I have other games I want to make. Howdy, love your games. The boss fights are properly difficult. That's the goal. Where'd you get the idea for the whole Autonica Church versus Communist bot war? Because it goes so hard? My buddy in high school came up with that, actually. We thought there should be a city of robots, like, outside the reactor. And it kind of evolved from there into, them having a civil war, and them being communists versus church. It's like, I mean, it's loosely inspired by extremely loosely inspired by the Russian Revolution. The October Revolution. But that wasn't a civil war, so it's not really the same at all. Is that Tyler standing next to you? No, that's Nani. Wait, I saw somebody chat, but I didn't reply to it. Somebody was asking... What would you say your relationship with Anton Hand is? Is it more professional, or has he become a sort of friend? Yeah, I definitely consider Anton a friend. I actually, I went and visited him in LA. When did I do that? Like, last fall, I think? Like, last winter or spring? I don't... Sometime I went and visited him. It was really fun. Got to hang out a lot. He took me shooting. I got to shoot guns in real life for the first time. I need the Nani plushie? Oh yeah, sorry. The Nani plushie is like a handmade, one-of-a-kind thing. It was actually given to me as a gift by someone. I think it was made by someone on Etsy, I think. Yeah, unfortunately, not for sale. Will your other games be as silly as Vertigo 2 or more serious? I don't know. It depends on what game I make next. I have a couple silly ones in the works. I also have a couple serious ones in the works. Do you have any ideas for what comes after Into the Aether? Or you just live in satisfying retirement? No, I'm not going to retire. I'm going to keep making games. I'm not sure what my next game is going to be. It depends on which of my current prototypes I decide to keep working on. Vertigo guns in H3 when? There's actually one gun, the huge 50 cal gun. Yeah, the meat nailer railgun is in H3. Can you number the copies 1 to 100? Super high value, 100 plus X times family heirloom keepsake values? No, they're not numbered. I don't know, numbering seems kind of pointless, because it's not like they actually, like... I don't know, do I number them by, like, what order they were bought in, or just randomly? It seems silly. I don't want it to be a competition. What was the ultimate decision to self-publish this one? Self-publishing is fun. I think it's more ethical. Like, I like getting to, you know, do the things myself. I like not having to deal with, like, a big publisher. I'm struggling to scroll in chat, sorry. Does the DLC have more physics-based gameplay closer to the SLZ games? If you count the grappling hook, then yes. It's not like full bonework style, though. But the grappling hook is definitely like a new... a new amount, or a new kind of movement for Vertigo. More physical than regular, like, stick locomotion. Just randomly add number 69 to one of them, but don't number the rest. Great idea. You know, the book actually has exactly 69 pages. Just completely coincidentally. Was not on purpose, but it is funny. Balatro is the only non-VR game I bought this year. A card game. In parentheses, love it. Yeah, I've heard really good things about Balatro. And didn't it just win, like, Indie Game of the Year or something? I did not watch the Game Awards. Yeah, everybody tells me to play Balatro, but I don't know how to play poker, so I don't know if I'd enjoy it. I'm not really huge on card games, but I'm very happy for all the people that like it. Dang, there are so many guns I have not used in that game. Yeah, H3 just has a ridiculous number of guns. Why is Nani behind you? Like he is right there? Oh shit! He is. He came to my house because I left a bad review on Steam. Do you think you'll ever release more Vertigo merch? Yeah, I might do some new merch for Into the Aether. I added the Into the Aether poster to the Redbubble, which is, I guess, where I sell my merch. You said the grappling hook would be usable in the main campaign. I wonder if you'll just be able to skip the heart tree. Yeah, you'll be able to skip a lot of stuff with the grappling hook. I think I even mentioned that in the text where I said it's going to be usable in the main campaign. My plan is to have it be a mutator that just gives you the grappling hook all the time. Can I leave a bad review to say hi to Nani? Yeah, if you want to beat up. Make a Vertigo themed PC case, I'd buy it. That'd be fun. Number them randomly from -1000 to 1000 and sometimes give them letters instead, cause chaos, yeah. What is your general process for making a Vertigo 2 level from blank scene to nearly finished? I usually start by like sketching out the level layout on paper, and then I start blocking it out in Blender. I drag the Blender scene into Unity. I playtest a little bit, and then I decorate it. I do a lot of my level design in Blender just because it has really good like modeling tools. I haven't had much success with like, oh shit, I just drew in this book, but it was on the black part of the page, so it's okay. I have not had much success with like Pro Builder and Unity's built-in level editors. They feel too clunky. But Blender, my beloved, it's perfect. Will there be motion sickness settings for the grappling hook? Yeah, I don't know if there's anything I could do for the grappling hook to really make it stomachable for those with motion sickness. I'll have the default motion sickness settings with like vignette. If you can think of anything that you think would help, I will. But it's gonna be kind of a like required motion. Do you think your next game will be VR or like a traditional game? Probably not VR, actually. My current game prototypes that I'm working on are mostly not VR. Or, I guess some of them are VR. Some of them are VR and non-VR. So, you know, I'll say I have no idea. It's a toss-up. Which boss was the most fun to make, lore/programming-wise? Cyber Joseph was pretty fun. I liked making all his different attacks. Yeah, I think Cyber Joseph might be my favorite. Oh, and Joseph Jeffrey, like the first phase of Cyber Joseph, was also really fun. I like making him roll around on his head. Isn't that the song that's playing right now? That's funny. That's Joseph Jeffrey's theme song. Any specific lore reason why old 60-plus-year-old Unc Brian sounds so young? It's because I had my high school buddy voice him. Because I started making Vertigo 2 in high school, and it wasn't really like a serious oh. Guys, I just autographed this book upside down on the back cover instead of the front. Should I autograph it again on the front? I'm gonna do it again. This one gets 2. I'm gonna write, sorry, I autographed it upside down by mistake. Can I send you a list of the things I want added to the Dropbox via DM? I think I'm in spam also because I've DM'd you in the past, but never got a response. Yeah, I get a lot of Discord DMs. It's not the best way to reach me. I would recommend, yeah, you can also email them to me, zach@zulubo.com. I will definitely see that. You could even just @ me in Discord. I'm more likely to see that than a DM. Can you draw a face on a random one? Yeah. What kind of face though? I would recommend Makeshift to make some nice plushies. Yeah, so the thing about making plushies is oh wait, I just lost the chat. The thing about making plushies is that you need to sell a lot of them to make it economical. You need to sell like more than 100, like at least like 300 or something, or even more. And I'm not sure if I have enough fans to do that. Maybe someday though. Do you think with the DLC update you could add a few secret areas to the main campaign that can only be accessed via the grappling hook? That's kind of a fun idea. I don't really want to fuck with the campaign for the DLC, but that, I don't know, that is kind of a fun idea. I'm tempted now. That book is now worth 3x more, one of a kind. Yeah, so true. What was your decision to make Vertigo 2 so different from Remastered? Well, it's a sequel. You know, if it's the same, why make a sequel? What the heck happened to Brian's eye? All will be revealed. Not VR, shocked face emoji. Yeah, I'm sorry. Did you ever make yourself super sick developing the grappling hook? No, I'm pretty much like immune to motion sickness at this point. Not VR, God no, please, if anything, make them both if you must, but don't leave out VR. Okay, jeez. I know, you guys really want me to make more VR games. Are you gonna eat an Into the Aether cake? That's a good idea. I will. I will eat an Into the Aether cake. I will eat, Brian. I will make, Zach fucking eats Brian video. Also, when do you think there will be a collector's edition back in stock? It should be back in stock, January. I'll get more printed, after Christmas. A Joe Jeff face, do a self-portrait, make an AK-47 plushie. Yeah, what kind of face? I'll draw a face in this book. Draw a highly detailed Nani. I was thinking that you should draw a cube head on one of the books. I'll draw a cube head in this one, sure. This is actually a pretty good cube head. Okay, it's a little weird looking. First Nani, now Brian, you were just murdering all the characters? Yeah. Where did you learn how to draw? I just taught myself. I took like a couple high school drawing classes. That's about it. Who is Sonya as a person? Is there any lore behind who she is, or is she just a person that got caught up in the reactor? Yeah, there's no lore behind Sonya. She's whoever you want her to be. She's like Gordon Freeman, except with even less characterization. She's just like a random person. When you say future game prototypes are VR and PC, does that mean mixed play where one person can be in VR and another one in desktop, or something else? No, it means like you can either play the game in VR or with a normal monitor. Like it's not a VR only game. When are you getting low taper fade? Not sure. I've like almost got a low taper fade. Actually, it's grown out a little bit. When my hair was slightly shorter, it was almost a low taper fade. What do you think about game VR dev with Godot compared to Unity? Since you checked Godot out a while back, would you recommend it? I have not done VR game dev in Godot. I did some like non-VR dev in Godot, and I was pretty disappointed, I gotta say. The main issues I had with it were performance. There was like certain things that were just extremely inefficient, including ray casting, which is like such a basic thing, but like casting a ray was like way more expensive than it was in like Unity. And I was doing something where I needed like a lot of ray casting. So that sucked, and that was like I don't want to use an engine where like ray casting is not optimized. And then another thing was like custom lighting and custom shading. I was trying to do like dappled forest lighting with like a light cookie, and that's something that you can do quite easily in Unity and Unreal Engine, but it turns out not in Godot. And I was trying to like do custom shaders to make that possible. I even tried like forking the engine and modifying it to make like a new type of light, and that was just such a headache. I gave up on it, and I was like, I don't want to use this engine where I can't do like any kind of custom VFX easily, because that's something that I like doing a lot. Asked this previously, but will we see Apollyon in the DLC? Well, I guess wouldn't that be a spoiler if I said? Imagine if Zulu Bow got the low taper fade. Imagine if Nani got a low taper fade. Was wondering, does the physical box come with a disc or just a key? Would have been neat to have a disc, even if it even if it didn't have the DLC itself on it. Why would I do a disc without the DLC? That's so silly. This is the box. It just comes with it. It is. Yeah, I know, just like having a key is kind of lame, but I try to make it cool and shiny. Would you ever do a giveaway for a free key of the DLC? Yeah, sure. Alright. Show us the other side and scratch the thing at the bottom? Yeah. I did. I'm gonna scribble it out so I know it's used. Wonder who will get it. Whoever gets it, let us know in chat. Would you like to make a multiplayer game at some point in the future? Yeah, that'd be fun. I'm not like... I've never made a multiplayer game. I don't really know anything about, like, networking. So, I think it would be a struggle, but I also think it would be really fun. Any rumors of anything about a Valve Index 2 in the Valve office? I don't work at Valve anymore. I have not for many years. Last time I was there was 2019. So you don't want to be asking me about Valve rumors. Do you think it's possible to make a game as full and fun as Vertigo, but without using the joystick for movement? Gorilla Tag as an example for movement? I think about it, but I'm not a dev. Yeah, totally. You could basically swap out movement in Vertigo 2, and it would still work the same. I just did joystick movement because of the style of game it is. It's a slower paced game. Zulubo, can you play funk music? No. Will Into the Aether have new weapons? Yes. Is that a switch case? I can see the cart indent. Yes, it is a switch case. I got a bunch of like cheap switch cases. How did you manage the actual cases? Yeah, I found a place that sells like blank switch cases and bought a lot of them. And will the tools and new weapons be available in the regular game and creation maps? Yes. Random name 2000 activated it. Okay, good job. No friends to give us insider info from Valve? Yeah, I'm not really in touch with any of my Valve friends these days. I have no insider information here. Vertigo 2 multiplayer campaign would be awesome. Yeah, it would be awesome. Unfortunately, Vertigo 2 is like a game designed to be single player, so it would be very difficult to make it multiplayer. Like, I'd have to rewrite all of the code, essentially. Is that legal? Selling Switch cases? Yeah, they're not like Nintendo branded, they just are the right shape and size to hold a Switch cartridge. Was it difficult to port the game to PSVR 2? Yeah, so a porting studio did most of the actual work. It was like a different studio. I didn't help very much with it, but it did seem like it was very difficult. How long did Into the Aether take to develop? Well, it's still being developed. I started this summer. So probably like, I don't know, like 4 months so far, and then another 3 months, so like 7 months total. Why did Valve unlist Moondust? It's always been unlisted. It was never supposed to— oh, that's all the books. Just kidding, I have a whole nother box of books. It is holding up my chair right now. I'll take a little break though. When will Nani get added to Fortnite? Yeah, good question. Actually, I don't want free key, I want to buy Cool Edition. Thanks for the sub, Hallowate. It's gonna feel weird having one random Steam VR labeled game in my collection. Yeah. For Vertigo Remastered in 2, did you use SteamVR plugin for Unity? Would you consider relevant today? Right now I use Unity XR Interaction Toolkit 3 with OpenXR. No Knuckles finger tracking though. Yeah, I did use the SteamVR plugin, and currently I actually worked on the SteamVR Unity plugin while I was at Valve, and currently that interaction system is very similar to the interaction system in Vertigo 2. So if you want something that feels like Vertigo 2, the SteamVR plugin is a good place to start. I don't know how relevant it is today, because I haven't updated, I haven't worked at Valve for many years, and I don't know if it's still being updated. I don't know how good the Unity XR Interaction Toolkit is in comparison. Yeah, I don't know. I would say try it out, see if you like it. I'm sure you could make a good game with any plugin. It just depends on what you like working with. What is your favorite song from OG Vertigo soundtrack? Oh, good question. Probably Origins or Abyss. Abyss is pretty good. What is your opinion on game modification? I know some developers seem to strictly forbid it. No, I love game mods. I am totally in support of people modding Vertigo. Sorry. I'm recovering from a runny nose. How did making the Vertigo games affect your life? Well, it basically launched my career as a game developer. It got me my job at Valve. You know, the fact that I had made Vertigo and published Vertigo was basically what made Valve take me seriously. It's let me do game development full time. So yeah, it's very massively affected my life. You think you might reference Vertigo in your other projects at some point because the reactor does pull stuff from other dimensions? Yeah, maybe. I don't think it'll be like a canon, like extended universe. Probably more just like casual, like Easter eggs references. Booger nose, yeah, that's me. Officer 13 is definitely obliterated, isn't he? He's potentially very obliterated. I think there's room for like some like retconning people alive if I ever wanted to. For a couple reasons. One is that the entirety of Autonica gets teleported out into space before the reactor explodes, as you can see by the main menu. Changing to be Autonica in space. So anybody that was in Autonica at the end of the game survives the explosion. And also, like, maybe, like, I don't know, Nani could have teleported out and, like, taken other people with him. I don't know. You can... I mean, it doesn't really matter. They're not in the story anymore. The story's done. I guess it matters if you care about them. If you care about their well-being. The main menu thing is canon? I thought that was just a fun detail. No, that's canon, yeah. Yeah, the hypercube teleports Autonica out of... Yeah, that menu is canon. All the menus are canon. That's why the menu changes after you choose a side, or after you, like, defeat Gronto. And the Void ending is canon as well. Or the Void ending menu is canon as well. Canonically, which side does Sonya take? There is no canonical side. So what side won, Communist or Hypercube side? It doesn't matter. It doesn't really affect the greater story. So it's completely up to you. Nani could have just floated downstream to Autonica? That's so true. He could have just, yeah, he could have just jumped in the river. How many 3D models do you estimate you had to make for Vertigo 2 in total? Oh, like hundreds. Yeah, many, many. Do you prefer the sword or the hammer and sickle? I like them both a lot. I feel like they're both really fun to use. Yeah, I don't know if I have a favorite. Fanfic writers make an alternate universe where Nani fights in the Autonican War. It would be epic. That would be pretty epic. That's just called replaying that chapter as Nani, right? Oh, hi, Aerith. Aerith says, live Vertigo 2. Just stopping in before my next meeting, just dropping in to say hi. Hi. What ending is canon to Into the Aether? The ending where you get Cowboy's revolver and explode the reactor is canon. What side would Nani choose? Definitely the church. Nani is capitalist. I love the Igniosaurus theme, by the way. You did great on it. Thank you. Bye, Earth. When is Vertigo in Fortnite? Yeah, somebody already asked that. Oh, oh man, toilet paper is a tissue? I've been doing that while I was waiting for tissues to come, and it was awful. The snot always went right through the TP. Yeah, it is awful. I just ran out of tissues because I had a horrible runny nose like the past 2 days. So this is my emergency tissue, just for now. But yeah, the thing about toilet paper is that it's designed to dissolve in water because it has to be flushed down the toilet, whereas tissues are designed to not dissolve in water, so they don't make good tissues. Yeah, Nani would choose to not participate in the war because he is too selfish. Have your political thoughts developed in the last couple of years, and would you have constructed anything differently about the church versus robots section if you made it now? That's a great question. Yes, actually. When I started making Vertigo 2 and started laying out the overall story, I was like 16. I was like a slightly edgy high schooler. I wasn't like right wing, but I was, I don't know, I was just like a normal ass like white high school boy. So I was like, oh my god, communism, that's so funny and stupid. Like, communism never works. Like, all of these communist robots be like the punchline. But I've become much more leftist over the past couple of years, especially like after COVID. I know that like a lot of people have been radicalized by COVID and you know, the ensuing chaos. But yeah, I consider myself a communist now, so I kept the joke funny robot communists in the game because I do think they're funny, and I don't think it's wrong to like make fun of communism even if you are a communist. Or like make fun of the Soviet Union or whatever. I don't know if I would have changed that much. Yeah, I don't think I would have changed much, because I mean, Vertigo 2 is mostly a comedy game, so like having silly politics fits right in with the rest of the game. You inspired me so much. I hope I can make a game like yours. It's literally my favorite game. That's really nice. I hope you can make a fun game as well. What happened to your finger? I fell out of my desk chair the other day and smashed it. It hurt so much I almost passed out, and then I went to the hospital and got it x-rayed. Turns out it's not broken. It's just smashed. The fingernail's a little bit purple. In OG Vertigo, for the part where you laid on your back, and at the time, did you think you were a genius for inventing that? I probably did at the time. I don't know if I'd say it's like a genius invention. It's kind of, I mean, people were doing all sorts of silly stuff with VR back in those days. He got the finger gun IRL, so epic. Yeah. Me after injecting a hypodermic needle directly into my fingertip. Pog, I got the finger gun IRL. This is just like Vertigo 2. Going from irony to character development, going from irony to becoming the ironic thing. Yeah. So true. What's the lore of the Seer? It seemed kind of like filler, but I would love if it had some kind of importance. Yeah, the Seer was sort of a throwaway character just for that chapter. You know, she has her whole character arc just in that chapter. I mean, her lore is in the encyclopedia, I think, but basically it's just that she was a plank robot that was built with a defect that let her, like, have some level of omniscience. Like, she could see things happening very, very far away and even in other dimensions. So she, like, enhanced her sight by, like, adding more eyes and adding tons of eyes to her body. And now she can, like, see everything. That's basically it. Is Into the Aether going to be funny like Vertigo 2? It looks more serious. It's a little bit more serious, but yeah, it's still going to be funny. Oh, and the reason the seer tries to kill you also is that she figures out like what's going on with Henrique, and she figures out that Henrique is trying to use you to open a portal and get the universe invaded. So she decides the best way to stop that is to kill you, because she can't like kill Henrique easily. Because she thinks like you're collaborating with Henrique, even though you don't know what's going on at that point. Simple manufacturing error. Yeah, whoopsies. Hate when that happens. Hate when I accidentally make an omniscient AI. If you had started working on Vertigo 2 now, would you choose a different engine like Godot or Unreal to develop it instead of Unity? That's a good question. I don't really know. I'm really sick of Unity, but every time I try a different engine, I find it even, like, not worse in the ways that, like, Unity is bad, but just, like, with its own flaws. Like, Godot is really not optimized well, and would not be good for the kinds of games I want to make with, like, a lot of fancy graphics and VR, and have it, like, run at a good frame rate. I don't think Godot is, like, there. Or even, I was talking about this earlier, but Godot also, like, it's very hard to customize the rendering pipeline in the way that you can in Unity. You can write simple shaders, but it's pretty hard to do much more than that. And Unreal, man, Unreal is just an extremely bloated, extremely slow, like, it feels awful to use. I've tried like many times to get into Unreal, and every time I do it, I'm like, why does an empty project cause the editor to run at like 15 FPS? Why is there like a quarter second of input lag when I click any button on the screen? Like that's unacceptable for a game engine. Like a blank project. I know I do just need like a more powerful computer, but also it's just like, it's ridiculous. And like blueprints are so weird, and I don't want to make a game with blueprints, but like the C++ API also seems really hard to use. So yeah, I don't know, man. And Unreal's graphics are also so like mushy and like, I don't know. So even as awful as Unity is, my point is that it still somehow seems like the best engine for me for what I want to do. Which is awful, because Unity is really fucked up and horrible, and like is being run into the ground, and it just got like 5 times more expensive. Yeah, it is dire. Have you ever thought of making a collaboration with any other YouTuber that could aid in development, such as a music group? I don't know, I like doing things myself. Wouldn't she also technically see you shooting him in the chest with the revolver, or is that like beyond her sight? She can't see the future, she just sees like the present, and gains understanding about what's going on. This is talking about the seer, by the way. I like how in the Diplomat you are posed the decision to either join the proletariat or the scary church that gives you a more advanced gun, but then the AK is just the best weapon in the game. Yeah. Unreal 5 looks beautiful graphically. It does, and then it runs at like 30 FPS. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think I could make something look as good as Vertigo 2 in Unreal Engine. I just don't. But that's just me. That's like my workflow and my art style. Was the overall story for Vertigo 2 planned out fully and then translated into the campaign, or did you make shit up as you made the campaign? I did have an overall story planned, which was mostly just Sonia's character arc of like going up to the surface and then going down to the reactor core, and that was basically it, and like meeting Brian in the middle. And that was all planned from the beginning, but all of the stuff with Henrique and Cowboy and the Void delegation was added in the middle, so that was somewhat made up as I went along. Is the statue the seer possesses just a regular statue, or is it a big robot like Richard in Vertigo Remastered? Yeah, it's a big robot like Richard. It's another giant golden robot. I don't know why Plank just has like giant golden robots, but they do. What tools and resources would you recommend for someone getting into music making? Well, and what inspired you when making the Vertigo OSTs? I personally, this isn't a recommendation, but I use Logic on the Mac, and I use it because I like grew up using GarageBand as a kid. So Logic is just like the more fully featured version of GarageBand, so that was like very familiar. So that works for me. I don't know if yeah, I haven't really tried many other digital audio workstations, so I couldn't make a recommendation there. What inspired you when making the OSTs, though? I don't know, just like other video game soundtracks. Yeah, probably other video game soundtracks would be the main thing. Last I tried to play Vertigo OG 3 Remastered, controls wouldn't work on Index. Does it work for you? Oh yeah. It's weird, but you have to launch the executable from outside of Steam. If you press play in Steam, it like thinks you're playing Vertigo Remastered and the input doesn't work. So just go to the like install folder and double click the executable. Have you followed much about the port and reception of the PSVR 2 version? I think many people would love you to get more hands-on with the PSVR 2 version. Yeah, I know that there's like a bunch of different issues with the PSVR 2 version. I've seen everybody's complaints about it. Unfortunately, there's not really much I can do because that port was completely managed by Perp Games, and I haven't heard anything from Perp Games in like months and months. I don't think they are going to do any more work on it. And I don't know. I don't think I can convince them to do more work on it. Excuse me. Do you get scared or spooked by your own game? Enemies and scenes, or being the sole dev and knowing how and why is everything, making it not scary? Example, mannequins before finger gun. Yeah, making it yourself definitely takes a lot of the scariness away from it. I think I've been spooked a couple times, more of like jump scared, but it doesn't happen often, just because you always know what's coming, and you know exactly what it looks like, because you've like made the model yourself. Are you sitting often on the floor like that and exercise for your back? I don't sit on the floor super often, no. I'm just doing it because I thought this would be like a good set. I have these fun lights behind me and the cool fireplace and all that. Hey Zulubo, you ever thought of adding a roguelike kind of mode into the Vertigo 2 engine? That would be cool. Yeah, I actually have, can you measure your forehead with your fingers, please? Thanks. That's an insane question, but yeah, how do you mean like this? I don't know the proper way to do this. Is it like, I can't see the camera very well. Insane chat. But about the roguelike, I have brainstormed some stuff about like a roguelike game mode, but unfortunately it never went anywhere. An Easter egg where you can kill Henrique early on New Game Plus would be funny. That's a good idea. That would be funny. It would take a bunch of work though, because you'd have to like, I would have to change the ending as well. I just got a PSVR 2. Does the game have haptic triggers or headset rumble? I'd buy it again if it does. No, I don't think so, unfortunately. It might have, I think it has headset rumble. I don't think it has haptic triggers though. We were having trouble getting the like fancy controller features to work properly. What were your inspirations for the story of Vertigo 1 and 2? A big inspiration was Portal 2, the sort of like underground science facility aesthetic. I guess that's more of an aesthetic inspiration than a story inspiration. Sort of story inspiration. Yeah, I don't know. Who made the music in Vertigo 2? I made the music. I'm glad you like it. Speaking of Unity, what things about Unity did you like over other engines? I really like how easy it is to write scripts in Unity. I like C#, the programming language, a lot. I like how easy it is to write. I guess it's not really easy to write shaders in Unity. I'm just like very familiar at it because I've done it a lot now. But I like how much you can customize shaders and kind of customize the graphics in Unity. You can really kind of do whatever you want if you know what you're doing. Do you consume cannabis? Yes, I do occasionally. Surprised that you're not using Ableton? Yeah, I use Logic. If you had no plans for Enrique at the start of Vertigo 2 development, would your interaction with him at the start of Vertigo 1 just have gone unexplained? Oh yeah, so that was he's only in Vertigo Remastered. Enrique is not in the original Vertigo. I added him to Vertigo Remastered because that was when I was writing the story of the Void Delegation and all that. Will more of Brian's backstory / lore be revealed in Into the Aether? Brian seems like the kind of guy to have crazy stories and stuff to tell. Yeah, a little bit. Brian's lore is basically that he worked for Planck for a while. He did a bunch of like illegal science experiments that got him prosecuted, and then Planck helped him evade the law by hiding him in the quantum reactor. And then he got tired of hiding in the quantum reactor, or he got tired of working for Planck, so he faked his death. And that's basically all the lore that Brian has, officially. Wait, so will the DLC come to PSVR 2 if the team aren't going to work on it? I don't know. I will talk to Perp and see if they are interested. But again, I haven't heard anything from them in a long time, so I'm not like holding my breath. Sorry, I'm so far away. I'm so behind current chat. I'm gonna try to catch up. Have you played Metal Gear Solid 3 ever? The main theme is really good. I haven't played any of the Metal Gear Solid, or I haven't played any of the Metal Gear games. My little brother is a big fan of them though. Is Frank okay? Yeah, I'm gonna say Frank is totally fine. He is not dead, surely. Why was the hummingbird not added to the sandbox, and do you think you'd ever consider adding it? I remember it being on the roadmap in the sandbox beta Discord, but it never made it in. Oh yeah, so the hummingbird is not in the sandbox because it uses a special, it has like special data that it needs to know about its environment that is only set up for the arena that it's in the campaign, because it needs to be able to like fly in 3D and like avoid crashing into stuff. And I never found a good way to do that in custom levels, because you can like create whatever environment you want to. But yeah, I don't know, it would just be a huge pain in the ass to make that work basically, and it's just like a single enemy, so I don't know if it's worth it. Have you considered making a pilotable Cyber Joseph for spawning in the level editor? No, I have not, but that's a very fun idea. How long will Into the Aether be, or do you not have an estimate yet? My rough estimate is 2 to 3 hours. Do you like movies, and do you want a few commie movie recommendations? Sure, I would like commie movie recommendations. I I wouldn't say I dislike movies. I don't watch a ton of movies. I'm not like a movie guy. Love the cube enemy sticker, lol, anywhere I can buy that? Yeah, the cube head sticker is available on my Redbubble. If you just Google like Redbubble cube head, or Redbubble Vertigo cube head, will probably pop up. The original Vertigo demo is still available on Steam for some reason. Oh yeah, I just noticed that recently as well. What did Brian do to get him hunted down by the government? Unspecified scientific ethics violations. Does Brian talk in the DLC, kind of like the shift from Gordon Freeman to Alex? Yeah, I'm planning on having Brian talk, if I can get the voice actor back. Are you finished with signing, or are you distracted by the questions? I finished all the books I have out. There's another box of books right here that I can open up, and I'll get those in a second. But right now I'm trying to catch up on chat, because I'm so far behind. Is there any plan to restock the collector's edition? Yeah, I'll be restocking that probably in January. I'll get more printed after Christmas. Is Brian going to have the same boomer shooter movement in the DLC? I'm thinking I might slow him down a little bit because you have the grappling hook now, so you don't need to run as fast. So yeah, sort of, maybe. I played Vertigo 2 on my old laggy laptop with really bad internet, yet it still ran well. That's awesome. Some people report like random performance issues with Vertigo 2, but some people say it runs really well, and I don't really know what to think. I think it's just like Unity quirks running differently on different machines. I was always under the impression that Vertigo 2 wasn't going to be receiving any content updates. What changed that made you want to make Into the Aether? Yeah, so I wasn't planning on doing any content updates. The thing that changed was that I had written this short story. I wanted to publish it, and I thought it would be fun to like make a little bonus boss fight to go along with it. For publicity for the book. And then it just like got feature creeped into a whole DLC. Kami movie recommendations: How Yukong Moved the Mountains, Soy Cuba, Manila and the Claws of Light, The Triangle, Embrace of the Serpent, Lagan, Once Upon a Time in India. Hell yeah. I'll save those. What do you think about the current VR industry, and where do you see it going in the near future? It seems like where it is and where it's going is very firmly towards mobile VR, because of mobile VR being like cheaper, more affordable. And I'm not a huge fan of that. I like PC VR because I like PC games. I like having more more power to work with, more being able to render more stuff, simulate more stuff, all that. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of mobile VR, is the long and short of it. But I do understand that that's the direction things are going. So we are fighting Apollyon. I'm not going to say anything about the story. This is not a spoiler stream. Is this expansion very story focused? Because I want to learn more about the lore. Yeah, there's a lot of lore in this DLC. Does Into the Aether have any story choices like The Diplomat? I really love the replayability of that chapter, even though I understand it's twice the work. Not quite the same, but sort of. You have quite a bit of freedom in how you play the DLC. I'll say that. Like, you can do things in different orders, to a certain extent. What is your current VR setup? I have a Valve Index and a Quest 3. And I use both of them sometimes. Hop on Brawl Stars? Nah, I'm good. I agree, but it's impressive how well some Quest 3 games look compared to PC VR. I just hope there's a future for VR in general. Yeah. Yeah, Quest 3 is definitely, like, narrowing the gap. And that'll continue to get better. So, yeah, I guess, like, mobile VR is gonna get better. Maybe there'll be a day where I say, okay, I like mobile VR now, but I wouldn't say that that is, that it's there yet. building an editor for a runtime user is incredibly hard. Yeah, it was very hard. It took a lot of work, but also it's sick as hell. Okay, I'm gonna pop open this new new box of books. I will be right back, and I will finish signing. God damn. It's a lot of books. Ugh. Okay. Ooh. Is the Steam VR game case for the Into the Aether a custom thing you paid a company to make? Is it associated with Valve? It's a custom thing I made myself. It's actually just a Switch case with like, and the cover is just, I designed it. It's not associated with Valve. It's yeah, just original creation. Have you seen the Valve Deckard leaks? Those controllers look insane. I have not been following them very closely. When it comes to Valve, I'm kind of like, I believe it when I see it. I believe it when Valve actually ships something. Because I've seen so many times where Valve is like working on something, or stuff leaks, and then Valve just like cancels it before it gets released. So I really hope we see another headset from Valve, but I'm not holding my breath. Do you think Vertigo 2 would ever get a Quest 3 port? No. It's probably way too much work. Not worth it. Or, I don't know, it might be worth it monetarily, but I don't want to spend like a year making a good Quest port when I could be making new games. I just have to say that Vertigo's enemy variety, their variety in behavior as well as relations to other creatures, is super insane. I don't know a single other VR game that does something like this. Oh, that's really nice. I'm glad you appreciate it. I spent a lot of time on the AI, and the like faction system, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Gotta go take care of things, but fun stream, fun games, and interested to see what you make in the future. That's very nice. I appreciate that. Bye-bye. I'm looking for a VR game with the same level of originality as this game. I think there's games out there. Eureka Tractor says, hello lad. Hello Eureka Tractor. Will the songs from the DLC be on Spotify soon after it releases? Yeah, they should be on there. So, oh my god, I almost did it upside down again. I gotta keep an eye out for these things. Is there an ETA in getting the book? No rush, I'm just excited. Yeah, if you got one of the first batch here, I'm planning on shipping these out tomorrow. And then, if you're in the US, they should arrive like 2 to 3 days later, pretty soon. So buy this week, if you are in the US. If you're not in the US, it could take a lot longer than that. What do you think about the Windows MR being shut down for future Windows updates, and will you still make Windows MR bindings for your future games, since people can still use them on previous window updates? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty shitty. It's, like, not that surprising. It's, like, normal tech industry stuff. Like, just bricking people's products. And yeah, sure, I'll keep making, Windows MR bindings, because why not? It doesn't take much work to make a binding. Will there be a closed beta test for the DLC like Vertigo 2? Yeah, I'm gonna start doing some beta testing pretty soon. I'll probably have a sign up just like the Vertigo 2 beta testing. What made you go with the Sapling and Saplord sequence? It's very cool and uncannily funny, but it's weirdly a lot more kid-friendly looking than the ARM security robots and contorted bloody creatures. Yeah, it is a little, like, more cartoonish than most of the stuff in the game, isn't it? I think it's just because they're, like, sap creatures, so they're naturally, like, very round and squishy. They look more child-friendly. I don't remember when I came up with the tree idea, but I was just like, there should be a big tree, and you should, like, fight the tree somehow. And I decided the tree should have, like, a fruit you're trying to get, and there should be a guardian of the tree, and it should be made of the tree's sap. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Steam Link? I like it, but it doesn't support wired connections yet, which sucks because the Oculus app has no Linux version, and I'm on Linux. Yeah, I've tried Steam Link, and it seems to work pretty well. I didn't know it doesn't support wired connections. I guess I did know that. Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, I've used Questlink wired, but I've only used it with, like, the random USB cables I have lying around, so I assume the bandwidth for those ones is really low. But the quality is pretty bad for Questlink. So maybe Steam Link could do a better quality one, who knows. 2 questions. Will the second batch of collector's editions be signed, and will there be any songs in the DLC that have lyrics/singing? Yeah, the second batch will be signed. And no, I don't think there'll be any more songs with lyrics in the DLC. Why am I getting nostalgia for Vertigo 2? That's a good question. It only came out like 2 years ago. How is blood projected onto surfaces in Vertigo 2? Is it all shader-based, or does it use Unity decal system? Yeah, it's all shader-based. Decals are actually cubes that use the depth texture to reconstruct the world position and then draw decals that way. And it's a little weird because Vertigo 2 uses a forward renderer, so it's not as easy to do that kind of decal, but I use some cheats to do it anyway. I should release my my decal system. I think that would be useful for people. In the Vertigo demo from early 2016, there was a secret vent that led to a door that needs a code. Once past it, you are brung to the starting cabin, and there are teleporters. If you remember, how are you supposed to get to the teleporters without sticking your hand through the glass and teleporting to it? I barely remember that. That was supposed to just be like an Easter egg. That wasn't really like canon or serious. They always remind me of Koroks from Legend of Zelda, but I think they're so funny how they ragdoll. Yeah. Yeah, they do look a lot like Koroks. Like tree spirits. Is that Nani plush a one-of-a-kind, or is there going to be a campaign that's going to sell them? Yeah, it's a one-of-a-kind, unfortunately. Someone gave it to me as a gift a while back. What are some of the weirdest bugs that happened during development? Were they easy to fix? One of my favorite bugs was one I actually like posted a video about it. It was like a weapon switching bug where instead of switching weapons, it would like equip every weapon at once in a single hand, and you could like shoot all of them too. It was really great. I think you can find that on my YouTube channel somewhere. Oh wait, I remember where it is. It's in the Vertigo 2 like behind the scenes video. I had a recording of that bug. Yeah, sorry about the decal nerd speak. But anyway, that bug was very easy to fix because it was just some like, I don't remember what caused it, but it was easy to fix. Virtual desktop is the best option for wireless PC VR in my opinion. I haven't tried virtual desktop wireless VR. I should give it a go. Was always curious if you hired someone for vocals and if you wrote them in Vertigo 2. Yeah, I did. I wrote the vocals and I hired someone to sing them. The singer's name was Leah Capelli. The variety and verticality of the areas in Vertigo 2 made me smile so much while playing the game. The tree and the whale have really stuck in my mind, even though the whale was gross and creepy. Yeah. Like, enemy and environment variety was like the bread and butter of Vertigo 2, I think. It's like what keeps the game fun. Because at the end of the day, the gameplay in Vertigo is not that complicated. It's pretty standard, like, FPS. I guess the interesting parts are, like, the physical reloading and the physical gunplay. But then what keeps it interesting is, like, cool, unique enemies and cool, unique locations. So I'm glad you appreciate that. What was the inspiration for having secret weapons, and were there some secret weapons ideas you never put in? I bet... I'm trying to remember. I must have cut some secret weapons. I'm sure I had some. I could look at my notes and see if I can find any. But I don't remember any off the top of my head. I don't know if there was a specific inspiration for the secret weapons. It was more that, like, I had so many weapon ideas, but a bunch of them didn't fit into, like, the normal, like, set of weapons that were going to be in the game. Like, it would have just been ridiculous. Like, the finger gun is almost useless, and it would be silly to have it take up a whole normal weapon slot, so I made it a secret weapon. That kind of thing. So the secret weapon was like a place to put all my funny weapon ideas that were too silly to be like a proper weapon. Could you make the Vertigo 2 skin shader public? Yeah, I can. Did you see that one thing about Google's quantum chips? It mentioned how it proves that parallel universes are real, though I'm quite skeptical. Of course, Google is the one to make Vertigo real. Yeah, I heard that they released the quantum chip, or they like announced it, but I haven't looked at anything about it yet. It's very cool. I know quantum computing is like an actually useful thing. I'm guessing that Google is like overhyping it because they always do that, and they're a tech company. But yeah, I should look into it more. I can't say if it's legit or not. Just passing by to, oh, I'm way behind on chat again, to thank you for the amazing work with Vertigo 1 and 2. You're so welcome. Suggestion, add an option to make the saplings turn on into a liquid simulation when they die, so people can torture their computers. Good idea. The Unity Cube flat player gun. Huh? The bosses having unique weaknesses instead of just having to shoot the bosses makes the Vertigo game so good, plus the game in general. Like weak spots? That's pretty normal, I feel like, for bosses. Speaking of bugs, my favorite one is definitely having the robots ram into you when you are standing on the other side of the swinging doors, which sends really fast out of bounds. Yeah, that's a good one. No, that was never fixed, I think, because the doors like have to be able to collide with you. And I guess I could, and they also have to collide with enemies, so yeah, I don't know if I could fix that. And it's like, it's not that common. Something about how Vertigo 2 looks is so polished. Yeah, well, I did spend a lot of time polishing it. Are there any big Easter eggs in Vertigo 2? Yeah, probably. Let me think. I mean, there's the whole, I was gonna say the part where you, like, go into, like, the portal-style test chambers, but that's not an Easter egg. That's literally, like, required for the game. That's just a damn heavy-handed reference. I don't know. I feel like Vertigo Remastered had more Easter eggs. I should have put more Easter eggs in Vertigo 2. Will there be new death messages in the DLC? I was not planning on it, because the death messages are like a complete story. How many pages long is the book? It is 69 pages. Does the DLC white ball shooting blood looking crab with a spike in its back have a name? Yeah, those things are called flesh golems. And the white ball is actually just a temp asset, because I don't have the model for their projectile yet. It's going to be like a tooth or something. I just signed another book upside down. Sorry, I accidentally signed upside down. Oh, that's two. Two collector's editions. Wait, did I remember to sign the front after that? No. Praying I get an upside down signature right now. Yeah, it's a damn lottery. Odds are not good, I'm sorry to say. Gotta finish putting the stickers in here. Give him a sticker for that. Sure, I'll give Upside Down Man a sticker. Were there any bugs or glitches in development that inspired a final mechanic, like Ultra Kill's projectile boosts becoming a mechanic from a bug? I don't think so. I'm not sure. Can you show us can you show us your tattoo? Oh yeah, actually I should show you both my tattoos. So there's this one. This was like a the rock. I also have a Joe Jeff tattoo. There it is. You ever thought of streaming developing a game in the future? Yeah, I've done some development streams in the past. Unfortunately, with Vertigo, or with Vertigo 2 and like Into the Aether, there's like lots of spoilers because they're like story games. So it's hard to stream development without spoiling stuff. What do you think of the lore of Bone Lab and Boneworks? I don't know very much Boneworks lore. I'm sorry to say. What was the biggest challenge in implementing two-handed weapons into Vertigo 2 as opposed to them all being one-handed in Vertigo 1? The math for two-handing weapons is pretty difficult. Like making them not like spin like crazy when you hold on to them with two hands. So the hardest part of holding a two-handed weapon is holding a two-handed weapon. All of it. Do you have any tips for someone starting game dev? Yeah, my number one tip is to start really small. Start with a project that is extremely simple, but is also something you want to do. And then finish that project. Like, start to end, polish it, release it on like itch.io, get feedback, have playtesters, all that. That way, when you do your next like dream project, you know what you're getting into. You know the process of starting and finishing a game. In one of your video, you tried a data moshing shader. Was it easy to make it work in VR? I would love to try it, but it doesn't work even in 2D in my URP project. Yeah, I don't think it would work in URP very easily. It was actually really easy to get it to work in VR. It was, where did my pen go? My Sharpie at? Anybody see where I put my damn Sharpie? Oh, it was in my lap. Anyway, about the data moshing. Yeah, it was based off somebody else's data moshing shader. I don't remember what I had to do to make it work in VR, but I remember it was pretty easy. What are the stories behind some of the cut weapons like the Neptune Sniper, Sapphire LMG, and Heritage Shashka? Reasons for being cut, where they wouldn't have fit in, fun facts, etc. The Neptune Sniper, I made it really early on, and I decided the model was just kind of stinky looking, and I wanted to do a revolver instead. Or, not instead, but I also had the revolver, and I decided the revolver should go in the sniper's weapon wheel slot. And that, I don't think I really needed the sniper rifle to be in the game. The Sapphire LMG was another one that I made really early on, and then decided I didn't really need it because there were so many other rapid-fire machine guns in the game. And the Heritage Shashka was, it turned out it just wasn't very fun to use as a weapon. It didn't have any like special abilities because it was just a normal-ass sword. I guess I could have given it like electricity like the hammer and sickle, which replaced it. But I don't know, it didn't feel very fun to wave around. In real life, Shashkas are pretty small swords, so it was really hard to hit enemies with it because it was like life-sized. Is that a follow? I can barely see. Thank you for the follow, whoever that was. I forgot the name. There's a book by Isaac Asimov about two societies in separate dimension with different physical laws using each other for power generation. Would highly recommend. Yeah, I gotta read that. I love Isaac Asimov. The Sosigs are fun, but it's hard to miss them. Yeah. The art style for the Vertigo franchise is really so nice. I'm glad you think so. It's kind of got two art styles. Sorry if you already answered this. Will Into the Aether add more achievements? And if so, will they count for the golden BAM? No, I don't think I'm going to add more achievements just because I think it's lame to have achievements like gated behind a DLC. So no new achievements. Will leaderboards ever be added back to Vertigo 2's custom levels? I found it very fun to try and get the fastest times. Yeah, it is really fun. The thing is, they were like very commonly causing game crashes, and I could not find out why. So I kind of gave up. I guess I could like go and try to debug them some more, but it seemed like it was something about Steam that was crashing the game, and that's like hard to debug. I don't know, so maybe, but probably not. Upside down odds just doubled though, and I'm feeling lucky, yeah. Could you do another retopology stream? Yeah, perhaps. Do you think your next game will be a story game or something else? It depends. I have a couple different game prototypes right now. Some of them are story games, some of them are not. When they make the first quantum reactor, you should pay to have Planck symbol printed on it. So true. That's actually surprising, since I thought the Void in Vertigo and the Void in Boneworks was connected. They have some interesting similarities. Yeah, like an extra dimensional space called the Void is a pretty common trope for sci-fi. I kind of embraced that. I was like, hey, that's cool that Boneworks also has a Void. So I lean into it a little bit. Speaking on weapons, Vertigo 2 is my favorite VR game, period, but the one criticism I have is that the weapon feel. It's got that same weird weightiness as in Saints and Sinners, though to a much lesser extent. I think toning up player control would definitely do a lot of good. Yeah, personally, I like the weightiness. I think it makes it feel more real. When games don't have like a lot of weight to weapons, they feel like I don't know, they feel like styrofoam. You know, it doesn't feel like you're holding a weapon. It feels like you're holding a VR controller with like a styrofoam gun attached to it. Um, Maybe there should be an option to change the amount of weight that guns have. What VRs do you think are best for Vertigo 2? Valve Index is probably the best because that's what I designed the game with and around. But I don't know, you can basically play it with any headset and it'll work pretty well. Any chance on there being Joe Jeff merch? Yeah, there's some isn't there some Joe Jeff merch on the Redbubble? Maybe there's not. Funnily enough, I have my own void dimension I've designed for a book I'm writing with its own very flexible set of physics. It's like a force of nature that absorbs dimensions into itself. Nice. What was the spaceship thing in the new trailer? Oh, that's Brian's escape pod. That's how he escaped the reactor exploding. Flew that up into space. You see it in the end of Vertigo 2. I kind of wish you had gone with the BAM glove hand model that you posted on Sketchfab as the hands of Vertigo 2. Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, I had many different designs for the BAM over time. The book by Isaac Asimov is called The Gods Themselves. Nice, I'll check that out. I kind of miss how in Vertigold the humans were super simplistic, but the exoproximals were super realistic. Yeah, that was like the fun quirk of Vertigold's art style. That made the aliens feel like even weirder and out of place. Whereas in Vertigo 2, I kind of like turned up the graphical. Did I just do another backwards one? God damn it! God damn it! You got another. The thing that's tough about it is that both sides are like a white page and a black page, so they look identical. Only difference is that this one is cowboy and this one is this guy. So it's really easy to fuck up. And I'm like reading chat. Triple upside down rates, yeah. Upside down stocks going to the moon right now. Or actually, aren't they going down because they're becoming more common? Give him the Nani plushie for that? No way. Nani plushie is mine. Okay, I might actually get a backwards one. I'm gonna go now. Bye bye. Bye bye. Tipody. Anybody got any other like fun ideas for drawings in here? I might do some little special ones because I'm nearing the end of the books. With Brian's beginning animations, it looked like you just did the arm and hand gestures with the controllers. I personally liked it a lot. How did you actually do it? Yeah, I used a tool called like Mocap Fusion on Steam. That's for doing like VR mocap. For that, I didn't love how it turned out. It was like a little weird. It's very obviously like just somebody with a VR headset, namely me. But I'm glad you liked it, I guess. Could you do a fat Nani? Yeah, I can do a fat Nani. Like Nani eating the antimatter capsule. Do you guys remember that? Okay, we got a fat Nani. Looks like a toad. Damn. Nani balloon. Do a cube head drawing? I already did a cube head drawing. Can you draw the gremlin or handyman? Yeah, I could draw a gremlin. You should tape a cracked antimatter capsule on the inside of one of the books. That would be a funny prank. That would be funny. Hey Zulubo, I recently arranged Vertigo theme for string orchestra and we will be playing it for our concert this April. I'd love to fly you down to the concert if you're interested in attending. That's crazy. I think I saw you posting about that on Discord. Um that is absolutely awesome. I don't know if my my music deserves to be played by a string orchestra, honestly. But that's so cool. I I don't know if I'll be able to. Where is it? I mean, that would be pretty awesome if I was able to come. Make one that is just Sonia mewing. I dare you. Nah. I'm beyond stoked for the Vertigo 2 DLC. Do you think you're going to be making a Vertigo 3 slash more VR games in the future? Not Vertigo 3, but definitely more VR games. During your time at Valve, were there other colleagues around your age? Did your age have an impact on your work or relation? No, there weren't really any colleagues around my age. Um, I wouldn't say it had a major impact on my work there. Everybody I like the people I was working with a lot. I was working with like the engineering team, working on the index controllers. They were all super cool and chill. But it definitely was weird to be like the youngest person by far. You should make a playable gremlin option, but don't change the weapon sizes. Yeah. Draw Jojef standing on a Jojef standing on a Jojef. Yeah, that's a good idea. Is the DLC gonna play like Brian's playstyle in the main game? It's not gonna have the same ammo pickups, but it will. I think it'll have slightly faster movement, like a Brian alternate character. Yeah. I'm locked in. I'm drawing a Jojef standing on a Jojef standing on a Jojef. Atlanta? That's pretty close to where I am, I think. Yeah, let me know the date and I'll see if I'm available. Frank is back, played in an orchestra would be unironically awesome. Will you ever create a game making course like that could bring some money and help others? I have thought about it. I don't know if I'm a good like sure. I could try it though. Like yeah, I don't know. Draw Frank reading a book. Oh yeah, and I gotta draw the gremlin too. Okay, I drew a gremlin. Draw a young Brian with an afro, yeah. Is Brian gonna have a BAM in the DLC? Yeah, he is. Wait, I just realized the soundtrack stopped playing. I think it finished. Let me start it up again. It's like weirdly silent. Does the grappling gun dude from the trailer have a name? No. He does not. The shot of Cowboy with his revolver to Enrique's head in space goes unbelievably hard. Yeah. The gremlin was blurry at first, and I thought he was performing an unholy act upon himself for like 5 seconds. No, the gremlin would never. What's your favorite game? I don't know. That's a high stakes question. Can he be named Garlic? Sure. Do you know if you have a personal favorite gag or joke in Vertigo 2? I think the writing was consistently funny, even the encyclopedia entries had humorous lines. I don't know if I have a favorite. Let me think. Man, I'm so bad at picking favorites. Why do most Vertigo 2 creatures have such nice asses? Because asses are funny. Because funny butt. My favorite's probably the pornography censorship bit. Yeah, that's a good bit. Oh, I like when, I like that Officer 13 is like completely fine with letting you go past at the end of the final boss fight once Brian explains to him what you're doing. I think that's a good bit. After you guys were like fighting to the death 5 seconds ago and he was like screaming at you. That might be my favorite. What's some of your personal favorite games outside of VR? I don't know what my like overall favorites are. Right now I've been, or recently I've been playing lots of UFO 50. Lots of good ones in there. Oh, buy Vitgon. How would I cook and prepare a gremlin? Probably, I don't know. They're so skinny. I feel like there's not much good meat on there. My favorite bit was probably just being able to kill 13 before Brian gets his lines out. Yeah, that's part of the funniness of that moment. That you can also just kill him. You're feeling evil. Are you aware that 13 having his legs chomped looks a lot like Adam from Budget Cuts 2 having his legs severed? No, I was not aware. I have not played Budget Cuts 2. I gotta play that, man. There's so many games I gotta play. Not enough time. Will you document some of your techniques for things like reloads or recoil or grip smoothing? VR is severely lacking stuff like that. Yeah, that's a good idea. Man, I gotta do more like blog posts. Currently waiting on a 3D print of the LX3 to come in so I can build a UFO 50 mini console. Oh, that's such a great idea. What are you gonna run it on? Like a I don't even know. Would you be able to put like a Raspberry Pi in there or something? My favorite bit is Brian's racism against handymen. Yeah. To elaborate, VR is lacking documentation on things like that? Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of games that get, like, weapon handling, like, very wrong. A lot of games just, like, don't do anything, they just use the raw input from the controller. That's what I was talking about earlier about, like, somebody was saying they don't like the weightiness to the weapons, but what's way worse than too weighty is when there's no weight at all, in my opinion. It is subjective. Raspberry Pi running Portmaster? Nice, yeah. How do handymen eat? That's a very good question. Not sure if there's an answer for that. Maybe through their butt? I don't know. Why are the gremlins always hostile towards the spectator drone? Do they simply have a hatred for technology? Or is there some unsettled business with my drone piloting friend that I should know of? I don't know. I should tech. I don't remember what allegiance the drone is set to. Probably like set to be allied with Plank. So I don't know why I would do that, but so that wasn't intentional. But we can just say that that gremlins don't like drone. Will the DLC contain either fire and or holes? Yes to both. Is the DLC the ending to the Vertigo franchise / finishing up the story? Yeah, for the foreseeable future. Which is also what I said about Vertigo 2, I know, but I actually want to make something other than Vertigo now. The big head on his HQ is funny too. Yeah, I love the big head. Oh man, I just realized when you use the big head mutator, the big head mode mutator, it should make that big head even bigger. I'm gonna do that. What made you decide to have some weapons just snap the secondary hand to the grip instead of requiring the grip button? Was it just something that improved the flow of combat? Some of those might be accidental, like I forgot to set the setting correctly. But I think it's... Some of them I did do intentionally to, like, improve the flow of combat. If it's something where, like... I don't even remember. I don't know. I'm not gonna, like, make up an answer. Handymen use photosynthesis? Yeah, sure. What were you on while making concept for creatures in the game? Must have been some powerful shit. Yeah, I don't know. My buddy Errol did a bunch of the creature designs. And gun designs, actually. But he's a really... You know, his art is crazy. Do cube heads get really big with the big head mutator? No. Unfortunately not. Handymen filter feed like sponges. That's a good theory. Will Nani be into the Aether? No, he will not. I'm sorry to say. Is the OST all MIDI, or did you record some instruments? If so, what were they? Yeah, it's all MIDI. I'm not very good at playing any instruments in real life. How long are you planning the DLC to be? It will probably be around 2 to 3 hours, but it is not done yet, so I can't say for sure. Might be longer than that. Did you play Arizona Sunshine 1 or 2? I played the first one, I didn't play the second one though. Any upcoming games you're looking forward to? I don't know. I'm pretty intrigued by the new Elden Ring game, like the spin-off roguelike one. That sounds crazy. Arun says, gotta go now, but thanks for the stream. It was a lot of fun and good luck working on the DLC. Thank you. And bye. Vladdy45 says, "Is Brian?" question mark. Do you often talk/exchange about your work with friends, maybe the community like today, or is that only once it is done? Yeah, I talk with people about my work while I'm doing it sometimes. Since someone brought up the spectator drone, are you aware that the automata NPCs will always destroy the drone? No, I was not aware of that actually. I should fix that. Speaking of the spectator drone, there's a bug with the data mask repair chapter that prevents the drone from firing in that chapter. That's crazy. I don't know the cause of it, but it always seems to happen there. That's weird. I didn't know that. I did not test the entire game with the spectator drone because that would have been a... I mean, I shouldn't make excuses. I probably should have, but I did not test the whole game with it. Arizona Sunshine 2 is really good, especially co-op. Nice. Wait, did Nani die at the end? Nah, Nani will be fine. We were saying earlier he might have gone like down to Autonica, which survived because the hypercube teleported it into space. So we can say Nani is in space. I like the bug where if you pause the game, the spectator drone can still spawn bullets so you can charge up a super drone blast to kill anything. Yeah, that's a good bug. Why is the DLC only 10? Looks like it's worth more. Maybe I'm wrong. I swear that's the price. Yeah, it's only $10. How long did it take you to perfect Nani's voice? Yeah, I spent a long time working on Nani's voice. Not working on, but getting Nani's voice. Originally he was going to be voiced by Errol, my buddy who did lots of concept art. And he was doing a great job voicing it, but he like hated voice acting, and he said he just didn't want to do it anymore. So I had to find a new voice actor, and I ended up getting Tyler McVicker, who was really into it and did a great job. Have you played Bone Lab? Someone modded most of the Vertigo 2 weapons and characters in, as well as a pilotable version of Brian's helicopter thing, and it works with multiplayer, and it's awesome. That is awesome. I've played a little bit of Bone Lab, but not much modding. But yeah, that's so cool. I love seeing people like doing ports. Somebody was porting, excuse me. Somebody was porting a bunch of the maps from Vertigo 2, and they looked awesome. They were using like decompiled maps, so they were like perfectly accurate. All the shaders and stuff as well. Yeah, you're crazy for making it $10. That's why I swiped up the collector's edition, because I would have paid $30 for the DLC alone. Yeah, maybe I'm crazy. I can do a really good Nani impression, but I have no friends nor acquaintances that have VR, much less Vertigo 2, so I am sad. You should record it and post it online for the community. I'm sure you would get some fans, and perhaps make new friends. I was playing Vertigo 2 again recently, and I heard the line where the hypercube soldiers were 3 meters, and then I realized how big that actually is, and it scared me. I feel like Enrique is also a really big guy. Yeah, they're pretty big. I mean, you can sort of tell how big they are in VR, but I find even with VR, you kind of get used to seeing like big things. But yeah, they're real big, and they also float in the air, I guess. This is the last book, by the way. I feel like I should do something special for this one. What should I draw on this one? I think $10 for 2 to 3 hours of gameplay is fair. Yeah. Did you make a profit for Vertigo 2? Seems hard to in the VR industry. Yeah, so I definitely made a profit, but that's because I have like no operating costs. Since I'm a one-man studio, I don't have to like pay anyone's salaries. I don't have to pay for very much at all, except for like keeping myself alive, and like equipment and stuff. So I definitely made a profit, but I know it's hard to. It's hard in indie games in general. Scrape a piece off your index and tape it into the book. You guys, I haven't told anybody about this, but the other day I stepped on my index and snapped the damn right headphone speaker off. Thank God the wires were still connected, so I like duct taped it back on and it works fine, but I felt so bad. Baby Frank. Baby Frank is good. I'll draw a little Baby Frank. Which ending is canon? I mean, they're both kinda canon, I guess. The ending where you explode the reactor is more canon. Because that's the one the DLC set after. Just because that's the one where, like, the universe doesn't get destroyed. Okay, I drew a baby Frank. I'll draw a Mudrunner. Man, I forget how many eyes Mudrunners have. This is a bad picture of a Mudrunner. I literally have like forgotten what they look like. This is a really bad... Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. I was just looking at the stickers like a second ago. Yeah, this thing looks evil. Is the DLC canon? Yes. Are you gonna restock on books again? Yeah, the collector's edition will get restocked after Christmas, so like early January probably. I just spring comically shoot out of my index head strap and it hasn't been too big of an issue, lol. That's funny. I guess it was like the tightening spring or something. Will we learn more about Brian in this DLC? A little bit. There's not going to be like backstory. But it is a Brian-centric DLC. That animation of the JoJo dancing goes so hard. Yeah, I agree. It's a damn like Mixamo dancing animation. What happened to the Mudrunners after you kill their queen? How did they track you down? I don't know. I assume they're kind of everywhere in the reactor because they just live in like caves and stuff. So they probably just all talk to each other and were like, let's fucking kill this bitch. What are some of your favorite custom levels? Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. Yeah, I haven't played any recent custom levels. I've been busy, you know, making the DLC. How many collectibles are in Vertigo 2? The collectibles were gonna be a thing, but I ended up cutting them for time, so there's only one collectible in the whole game. I just left it in because it's fun. Did you experiment with Source 2 VR with Half-Life Alyx Workshop or Gary's mod successor Sandbox, which supports C#? If so, how is your experience? No, I have not done much Source 2. The only thing I did a little bit of mapping in for SteamVR Home actually, just to try it out. I made like a version of like Brian Industries HQ that you could walk around in SteamVR Home. I don't think I shared it ever. It'd be cool to do a stream where you play people's Vertigo 2 sandbox levels. That would be fun. That would be a fun stream. I would say you should do a playing custom level stream, but there are a lot. I mean, I could like filter them a little bit. Oh, here, do you guys want to see the Has anyone had their SteamVR Home actually work? I have not tried. I don't like SteamVR Home very much. It just makes SteamVR take like way longer to start up, and it has to like close and open SteamVR Home every time you like start playing a game. So when I'm like working on Vertigo 2, I usually just have it turned off. Do you sometimes check out workshop levels, both Vertigo 2 and Remastered? Yeah, I do sometimes. I haven't checked on Remastered in a long time. I should check on that, see if there's any new ones. Oh, and sorry, Dima Line says, is there some problem with sending merch because I still don't get my poster that I ordered like a month ago? If it's a Redbubble poster, which I guess it is because I don't sell posters, I have no idea. That's Redbubble. I'll be shipping it. Do you think Half-Life Alyx plays it too safe in terms of gameplay? Yeah, very much so. Yeah. Yes. They have like... Yeah. They could have done so much more fun stuff. Can you do a backflip? No. I can on a trampoline. Isn't the Mudrunner Queen about the size of a normal Mudrunner? Because I forgot it's only big in Remastered since you're small. No, it's still pretty big. There's some human skeletons in the boss arena, and you can see it's bigger than them. Redbubble stuff can take ages. Sometimes it's fast. Sometimes it takes over a month. Oh damn. Mudrunner with 2 giant human eyes. Draw Mudrunner, but the ones that look like worms. Oh, so true actually. The baby Mudrunners are so cute. I'll draw a baby Mudrunner, if I can remember how they look. They're just little like worms. There. Is the Nani poster as tall as you? I think it's like 4 feet tall. I am not 4 feet tall. Is there any secrets about Vertigo 1 and 2 we should know about, like what happens to Sonya after and between the 2 games? No. Dismembered and reassembled after 1, dead after 2? Damn. I mean, yeah, that's accurate. Never forgot soulless, faceless robot Mudrunners from Vertigo. Oh yeah, so true. Well, they weren't robot, they were just like a different design. They had like shells. Nani's a short king, yeah. Draw Nani playing the most epic guitar solo you have ever heard. He does that in the game, I don't need to draw it. Props to you for getting the voice actor for Gordon Freeman and Shell to voice Sonya. Yeah, so true. Draw that silly little carrot from Vertigo. Oh yeah, isn't his... I think his name is like Steven? Did you ever design any creatures bigger than the fish that eats you? Yeah, the kilometer-big crab is bigger than the fish. Are you gonna sell any merch like plushies or shirts? Probably not plushies. There are some Redbubble shirts for sale. Go to my Redbubble store. Or you can just search like Vertigo 2 Redbubble. Will we ever find out what happened to Sonya after Vertigo 2? Oh, you mean like if you do the ending where she goes to her home universe? You can just assume she goes back to like living a normal life. Happy ending. Happily ever after. Did you ever cut any creatures or people you cut last minute? Well, I cut the Letharine, which is this like little gremlin-like guy with a dong. Casually returns to normal after dooming an entire universe and slaughtering several giant aliens. Yeah. What version control tools do you use for Unity, Git, and LFS? Yeah, I used Git and LFS. Happy until your universe is obliterated by the Void delegation? Yeah, pretty much. How do you handle it with Blender Project? Oh, I don't version control my, or I use Blender projects like in Unity for a lot of models, which is a habit I'm trying to break because that's like bad. Because it depends on the Blender version and it depends on having Blender installed. But I also have like a separate art folder that I don't version control, that I just do backups of occasionally. Have you ever talked about why you chose the name Vertigo? Yeah, so the Vertigo was originally like a very small, simple demo for the like original HTC Vive, where you were on a little bridge above a bottomless pit, and there were like drones flying out of the pit that you shot with a little gun. It was like a wave shooter, basically. And it was called Vertigo because you're standing above a big pit. You got vertigo. And then I just kept adding more and more stuff to the game, but it remained being called Vertigo. And it still sort of applies because there's still lots of like big pits and giant spaces. So I thought it was a good name. Could you do a game jam on stream or make a video? That would be fun. I haven't done a game jam in such a long time because I've been like making actual games instead. I would love to do a game jam stream. Is there a lore reason for why Henrique, Gentlehand, and all the other talking entities just so happen to also speak English? There's not like a good reason for Gentlehand. Like, maybe English exists in the alternate Earth, but that seems kind of implausible. For Henrique, he could like learn to speak English because he knows he's going to be hanging out in this universe. Although they also speak English when they're like in cutscenes with no humans around, so that doesn't really make sense. I wouldn't worry about it. It's just because it's a video game. Because you gotta like know what they're saying. Game Jam for Vertigo 2 custom levels, yeah. Is there any hidden meaning in Autonica? Like the Reds are fighting specifically with the church and not with anyone else? There's not really any hidden meaning there. It's just, like diametrical opposition between like communism and it's not really fascism, but like authoritarian, what do you call it? Like, I forgot the damn word for when church runs the government. Theocracy. So it's just like similar to like, it's like very, very loosely based on the October Revolution. And I say very loosely because the October Revolution was not a civil war. Can you add press checking to the AK? I don't know what press checking is, but I assume it's some like gun nerd shit. Maybe Sonia is just totally confused and has no idea what they're talking about. Yeah. That'd be great if Sonia like... What if Sonia doesn't even speak English? And that's why she never talks. It's because she has no idea what anybody's saying. She's just like running around, killing. I like to believe Sonia got locked into a mental ward after Vertigo 2. Yeah, could be. I think I'm gonna wrap up the stream soon because I have finished signing all these books at last. It's a lot of books. Sonia actually fucking loves murder. She's enjoying every second of Vertigo. Yeah. Awesome nails, thank you very much. Painted them over Thanksgiving. I don't usually have painted nails, but I do kind of like how they look. A press check is when you pull the bolt back on a gun to check if a round is loaded into the chamber. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, because does it not show the round properly in the chamber? I don't remember. That just didn't feel super important to me at the time. What world does Sonia come from? Like our normal world. Would love to try some Vertigo food, so true. Do you believe Enrique was ever in the wrong? Yeah. I mean, he's trying to, like, invade or get your universe invaded for, like, selfish reasons because he wants, like, status in the Void delegation. So I'd say, yeah, he's not very nice. Kiss my copy, please. Put lipstick on beforehand. I don't know which one is yours, otherwise I would. I want to try water too. Me too, man. You gotta stream more often? I know. I should stream more regularly. It is fun. Sonia actually fucking loves murder. She's enjoying every second of Vertigo, yeah. The AK in Vertigo 2 already has that, I think, though? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. What are your thoughts on the phrase Vertigo to the polls? My thoughts are, I think you guys did not Vertigo to the polls hard enough, and that's why Trump won. Or maybe it's my fault for not tweeting Vertigo to the polls. What do Joe Jeff's Quantum Juice Handymen and Saplings taste like? Joe Jeff's taste like probably human flesh. Quantum Juice tastes like delicious orange soda. Handymen taste like human flesh. And Saplings taste like sap, because they're made of sap. I live in Maryland, just kiss the first MD one and hope it's mine. Okay. Could Sonia be mute / never had vocal cords? No. Sonia's not, like, canonically mute. I just chose to do a silent protagonist. Can't wait for Into the Aether. I've played 50 hours of Vertigo 2. I'm so addicted. Yeah, I'm really excited for it to come out. I know there's lots of Vertigo fans that are hungry for more. Will we get to see one of those giant creatures that was chained up in the pit moving around in the DLC? That would be a spoiler if I told you. Enrique took Sonia's vocal cords at the start of Vertigo Remastered for no reason. Yeah. What does the fruit in Vertigo 2 taste like? Tastes like delicious. I really love your game dev tricks videos, and he plans on making more. Yeah, I really liked making those, and I thought they were super good, but they only got like 1,000 views each. They got like really low views compared to most of my videos, and I don't know if I want to spend like a ton of time making videos that like aren't going to be viewed by anyone. But yeah, maybe I'll make more. Would you consider adding an option to use the Vertigo Remastered teleporter in Vertigo 2? No, I don't think so. Is Sonia canonically dead? Yeah. Do you think a Quest 2 is a decent VR for playing Vertigo on? Yeah, if you have a PC and you can use Quest Link, that'll totally work. If one was theoretically strong enough, could they pull apart Enrique and customize him like a Mr. Potato Head? Yeah, sure. I don't think any bullets are visible in the AK when you look into the bolt. It would be nice to be able to see if there's a round in the chamber to know if I need to reload after the chaos of battle. Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember if I showed the round or not. Okay, everyone, I'm going to wrap up the stream now. I'm exhausted. My throat hurts from talking, from yapping. Oh, what GPU do I have? Oh, I have quite a GPU story. I'm gonna tell this story before I go. So I bought a new PC recently. A really nice, completely decked out, like top of the line everything PC. And it arrived, and it was great, except it was like randomly freezing, like all apps would freeze for up to a second, and it would happen when I wasn't even like doing anything super intensive. So I sent it back to the manufacturer because I was trying to troubleshoot it, and they ended up saying like, just send it back, we'll try to figure out what's wrong. Thought it was something in the power supply. But I didn't pack it properly when I sent it back, so it got completely destroyed in transit. Like, almost all the components were just like demolished. So that was a huge fuck up. And then I said, and they offered to replace most stuff, but they wouldn't replace the GPU because 4090s were discontinued because Nvidia's making like a new GPU soon. So I ended up getting a 3090 instead. So now my PC's gonna have the 3090. But I don't have it yet, because it's still being put back together. By the way, if Maurice from Ultrakill was shown in the game, then Vertigo 2 is in the same universe as Ultrakill, or is it just an Easter egg? Yeah, it's just an Easter egg, not in the same universe. Technically, every universe could be canonical in Vertigo 2, just like H3VR, yeah, but I don't know, that's like the same as all multiverses. We love you, Zach Zulubo, Mr. Zulubo. Love you too, Bonfire. Are more collector books gonna restock? Yeah. Collector's edition will be restocked in January. And you can sign up for a restock email if you go to the website. One final important question. Will Into the Aether be a separate game or DLC? It'll be a DLC. Yep. Peak stream, peak game. Hell yeah. Love the stream, thank you. Yeah, thank you guys for dropping in. This was my first time like multi-streaming to Twitch and YouTube at the same time, and I think it went really well. It seems to have gone really well. Just because it didn't break, which was my fear. But yeah, apparently my internet's good enough to double stream, and that's awesome. I love you, goodbye Pookie Bear, goodbye. We stream signing the next batch of books as well? Maybe, if I feel like it. That was a great talk, thank you. Yeah, I'm happy I could like answer your guys' questions. Is Brian the main character of Into the Aether? Yeah, he is. He'll play as Brian. Goodbye, gamers.